All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. How's everybody doing today? It is a beautiful day. It is March 13th, and I thank you guys for joining me on this beautiful day. Welcome to all the new people, and welcome back to all the old people. So, we're going to jump right into this and start out with an excellent opener. So, let's check this out.
Donald Trump, you doing every goddamn thing else but lowering the price on these goddamn eggs. I gotta choose if I want to smoke or if I want to eat breakfast.
What, sir? What? Okay, first and foremost, eggs are down nationally from an 817 to a 551. There you go, right there. Check that out. Check that out. Nationally, eggs are down. The price of eggs are down, and these people are still complaining, saying Donald Trump needs to get the price of eggs down, but they don't realize that that's not within his power. I mean, his purview really and truly, especially after good old Joseph Binky Biden had 150 million chickens clucked, and then you have salmonella outbreak, and people are getting sick from that. So maybe if he would stop smoking and saved his money, he could eat all the eggs that he wanted, or at least find an egg plug. You know, I mean, there's that. But right to the next thing, we have Act Blue back in the news again. If you don't remember who Act Blue is basically a fundraising service that gives money to the Democrats. In short, without having to go into too much explanation, that's who they are. And you guys remember the Summer of Love and how they took BLM donations and gave it to the Democrats instead of to the blacks? Yeah. That's that same Act Blue. Well, Doge is doing what Doge does and unearthing dirty laundry with Act Blue. And they are being investigated for allowing foreign entities to donate to various groups involved with campaigning. So not only did they help the Democrats do what they did and help black people, protest around the whole nation, aka $11.1 billion in damages in a matter of like 3 months. Yeah, that same group, they're being investigated for some evil stuff. But moving right along, dealing with money still, we have right here for us, Mo Money, Mo Missouri. Missouri blames China and wants what is owed to them for COVID reparations. You have the Attorney General Andrew Bailey, who is he has secured a epic $24 billion judgment against China for unleashing COVID. So we need to keep an eye on that to see how that goes. And maybe your state too can follow suit behind that, because Missouri is doing big things and they're putting an end to, the lies, because we know it came from China. Moving right along, we have right here, protect the cash. Cash Patel doesn't trust the FBI to protect him. Is he right in thinking that? Looking back in the past, we see that the FBI has been horrifically and grossly negligent with truth. First and foremost, they had the Hunter Biden laptop for like 3 years before it was released to the public that some, Joe Schmo at a computer shop had it and turned it in. They had it 3 years prior to that. And if people were to look deeply into the inner workings of the FBI from what they can see, we would know that the FBI has been absolutely positively corrupt in every way, shape, and form. But right in the same facet of things, Trump is tightening up the things dealing with the FBI and the Justice Department, and Kash Patel is requesting that the agency include security measures that when he contacts people, they are the only ones he's contacting, and there's no leaks. Because a part of what makes our government strong is, secrecy. And you can't have secrecy if you're leaking stuff to the enemy. There is controversy where dealing with Kash Patel's protection detail and stuff, there is major controversy dealing with that, going back to that, because there are a lot of people saying that let's see, I think I have it. Oh, no, I didn't put it in. Oh, well, doesn't matter. there's people saying that he didn't request it for his own personal detail within the FBI, and then there's other people saying that he did. Regardless of what some may think, he does actually indeed need protection. Any and everyone that Trump has, put forward, they need protection because they are absolutely positively actively after these people. And it's not even kind of sort of. We see multiple attempts on Donald Trump's life. We see people being, cornered out with their children, being JD Vance. So we know that anyone that is associated with Donald Trump or agrees with Donald Trump is actively being targeted. And then we have these loons all over the internet saying, kill him, we want Donald Trump dead. It's crazy. It's crazy that we've gotten to this place inside of the United States of America where it's okay to openly wish death upon people. And I mean, not kind of sort of, but full-blown openly wish death on people. And for what? Because you don't like them? Honestly, think about this. Think about this for me for a second. Just because you don't like someone, that is not a reason to wish death upon them. If you don't like them, avoid them. Just like if you're on the internet, if you don't like what you see, swipe it away. Keep moving along. But you have these people actively out here targeting any Trump supporter, targeting any Trump associate or pick for government. So I'm very curious to see in the future how this will all pan out, especially dealing with assassination attempts. And I hope that Donald Trump and the White House do a good job at releasing this information so we, the public, can know, because often in the past, they would only release this information after the fact, after everybody's said, said and done and retired and can't be back in office anymore. They then published the information about, hey, they had 55 attempts on their life last year. So it's something to keep in mind, but we're going to move right along to good old Poland. Good old Poland. There you are. I don't know why you're all the way over there. Let's grab you and get you in the right position. There we go. Nope, that's the wrong one. No. There we go. Poland. My apologies. Poland is seeking to become a nuclear power. Poland wants to arm up and take up arms against Russia and join the war. Poland seems to be poised to enter this war after talks with other countries to become a nuclear power, not a superpower, but a power, and they want to fight. And it's finally something, personally for me, when looking at this, I think it's absolutely positively fantastic that Europe is doing something. Why is it that every single time people depend on America to do something? We know for a fact that Ukraine came to America for help because we have the money. If we look at how the EU compares and stacks up to the United States as far as support, the United States to date has given up to $177 billion to the cause of Ukraine. The EU has given up $145.7 billion. So they're lacking in that. So it really is a beautiful thing to see Europe actually helping Europe instead of relying on America to, help them out. But I think this is a scary thing, the fact that Poland feels it necessary to want to posture in a way that could enter or create a World War III full declaration, because we are in a world war conflict because it only takes 3 or more countries to be at war at any given time. And we have the Congo at war. We have Russia, Ukraine. We have Israel, Palestine. We have China posturing against Taiwan. There's just a lot of things going on around the world that we in America aren't necessarily privy to because, for lack of a better way to put it, Americans put their heads in the sand and they keep them there because they don't want to deal with anything but what's in front of them. So I would suggest that you pull your head out of the sand and just view what's going on in the world so you'll know whether we're on the brink of World War IV technically or not. But moving on, right along, we have Trump back in the news, and here we see Trump he's technically clipping the wings of the Air Force One creation. And personally, for me, in this particular situation, what is happening is that we see Trump is laxing the security clearance that's required, which were measures put in place for the creation of any plane for government use, more specifically Air Force One. And the mechanics all had to have certain clearances before they could touch the plane. And whilst they are not dealing with, the actual mechanisms that make the plane fly, the ones that have lax security measures are actually working on these planes. And personally, I don't think that is a good thing. Is Trump actually setting himself up for failure, especially with all these planes crashing out the gate in 2025? Granted, to give you a piece of information, a point of information for you, there were a lot of plane crashes in 2024. By far, for us to keep on track and pace with 2024, we would have to have about 45, 55 plane issues a week minimally, just to even say they're closely related. But this is unsettling for a sitting president, to lax security measures for your people that are working on the plane that you fly on, that flies around not just the United States but the world. So I feel like this could potentially be a setup, but we will see with the news coming out in the future, especially because Trump's already got a target on his back. So I don't know why he would want to add to that, but it is what it is. Right along in the same field, the Air Force intercepts another flying aircraft over Mar-a-Lago. And most people are like, oh, it's just flying around. But it's flying in a no-fly zone, and that is illegal. And so when they are in a no-fly zone, they get radioed, hey, you need to get out of this zone. You're not supposed to be here. And these people are flying through this. And this wouldn't be that big of news if it weren't the 20th time that it's already happened this year. Yeah. So that leads me to believe that, hey, if these people are doing this, what are they doing it for? Because they know this is a no-fly zone. Why do they keep doing this? And if at such a high rate of it happening already this year, it can be seen as problematic. Just to give you context, the fly zone is at a certain height and a certain distance around a certain area. You got all that air up there. You're not going to hit anything by maneuvering around a no-fly zone. But again, more news to come with this. I don't think this will be the last time we hear about this, especially because they've already done it 20 times already. But it is unsettling to know that they're flying planes and over the president's, domicile, and planes are falling out of the sky left and right, or at least, like I said, the news is perpetuating this thought process to us. But it is something to look into if you don't know any better. And hopefully nothing bad happens and nothing comes of this, because we got to protect our president, just like our Secret Service members have been doing. Secret Service shot an armed man at the White House. Granted, Trump wasn't even at the White House at the time. Goes to show how well planned and how thought out these things are from these people. But at the same time, it is something to be worried about. We see all of these major changes happening around our country, and people are, very susceptible to being indoctrinated by media. So they go out and do certain things like this. And like I mentioned earlier, we have seen, which next week I'm probably going to make it a point to have videos to show you guys how many of these deranged individuals are going around on the internet saying they want to kill Trump, that they're going to kill Trump. And it's one of those situations where they're going to have a hard time succeeding, but if you keep doing it enough, someone might actually succeed. God forbid, but it's something to be worried about, something to be thinking about. And in my opinion, if you see people doing this, report them to the FBI immediately. The FBI used to be very corrupt, where they would watch people for years, and then that person goes shoots up a school or a restaurant or a grocery store, and the news says the FBI has been watching this person for 4 years, 5 years. Well, so did you just watch this person for 4 or 5 years, right up until the point where they acquired the weapon, right up until the point where they entered the school or grocery store or church and unloaded? Were you watching like that, or were you just aware of their psychosis, aware of their, little internet postings and Facebook postings and statuses and stuff? If you're aware of these things, why are you not doing more about it? Why are you not being more proactive? So I believe with Kash Patel in office right now as the director of the FBI, we might actually see a decrease in school shootings, in these mass shootings, for the simple fact the FBI will be made privy, hopefully, to these people's actions and put a tell on these people. I know that sounds crazy and like a police state, but I would rather a crazy individual be stopped in the midst of committing a crime before someone's harmed than to let this person go all the way and then deal with them after the fact. Because it's not like they're watching everyone. It's watching these deranged individuals that are making posts saying they're going to kill people. There has to be a line. I'm all for freedom of speech, but I'm all for said consequences of that freedom of speech. So if you F around, you can find out, so to speak. But moving right along, next up, we have Doge. Back in the news again. Doge is probably going to be in every episode for the foreseeable future if they keep doing the things they're doing. This is the Follow the Money Doge edition. $312 million given in loans to children under the age of 11. Honestly, what kind of clerical error does one have to make to give 5,600 thereabouts 11-year-olds or younger a small business administration loan? That doesn't stink to high heaven to you? $312 million small business administration loans to children 11 years or younger. And that's not a clerical error on the age. And it's crazy. And how can you get one? Because I mean, I would like to have a few $1 million. How these 11-year-olds get these loans? Because I want to know. Clearly, they weren't kids, and clearly the money wasn't going to kids. But what is not clear is where the loans were, what the loans were actually used for. The total number of loans was 5,593. Whilst the social security numbers were valid, the names attached to those social security numbers were completely fabricated. So what's really going on here in America, where we have children obtaining money, copious amounts of money, and no one's saying anything about it besides Doge? I, for one, want to know how to get one of these loans, because I would love to have a little bit of money in my pocket to do with what I need to do with. And hey, I would actually pay it back. That's the difference, because they don't know if this money's ever going to be paid back. Hopefully they can crack down and find out exactly where it went, what it was used for, so they can pursue the individuals that actually had it and handle them to the highest extent and fullest extent of the law. Preferably life in prison, 2 life sentences, because you're now stealing from taxpayers. I don't care if these are multi-billionaires or millionaires. Cook them. Cook them good. Please, please, please do something patriotic for your country and cook them. Speaking of patriots, we have, wrong one. That one right there. Patriots Assemble. Military recruitment numbers increase under Trump. And while you will see, if you look this up, they were increasing before then, let's be for real. The numbers were down under Biden, and now they're up. They're up. So the military numbers are increasing, and even under Trump's first term, he did increase the military numbers, where we were diving down because of Barack Obama's changes in the military, where he made it to where if you didn't have a certain rank by a certain time, you were out. And I recall over 400,000 people were kicked out of the military due to the fact that they didn't hit a rank. And I had a lot of close people that were, to me, kicked out of the military, and their whole lives upended because they didn't see it coming. They weren't given a whole lot of notice. It was almost like, bam, done. 30 days. If you ain't hit this rank by this time, you're done. And I watched a lot of marriages fail. I watched a lot of families split because of this, because all your money is just gone instantaneously. Because if you're not retiring out of the military, you're not getting anything once you've severed ties with the military. So I watched a lot of bad things happen as a cause to, as a result of Barack Obama's actions. And now it's good to see Trump bring it back up, and then it dip under Biden. And now, once again, we are rebuilding the strongest military on the planet, thanks to Trump. But moving right along in the same facet with all of this assembly of the Patriots, check this out.
As Commander-in-Chief, my focus is on building the most powerful military of the future. As a first step, I'm asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland, all made in the USA. And Ronald Reagan wanted to do it long ago, but the technology just wasn't there, not even close. But now we have the technology. It's incredible, actually. And other places, they have it. Israel has it. Other places have it. And the United States should have it too, right, Tim, right? They should have it too. So I want to thank you. But it's a very, very important. This is a very dangerous world. We should have it. We want to be protected, and we're going to protect our citizens like never before.
Like never before. And he's right. The United States, whilst having an ocean on either side of her, can be infiltrated from other countries. And we have been, if you've been paying any attention to current events and what's going on, we have been being infiltrated constantly by other countries through our border. 62 to 66% of them come from Europe, China, and Africa. And that's not good. And in the sprinkled in that is, Middle Eastern people coming through our southern border and our northern border. So we see that Trump wants to shore up our borders through, agreements with Mexico and Canada. And that is the right way to go about it. And while it might be difficult to harm us from our ocean sides, it's not impossible. Russia often flies us close to the no-fly zone, unapproved fly zone of America all the time. They did it multiple times under Joe Biden. So having a missile defense system that could take down pretty much any threat from the ground to air or from air to ground would be nice. It would be a lot nicer than, actually having something slip through and cause harm to those in our country. But continuing right on down this trend, check out this.
This is a very dangerous world. We should have it. We want to be protected, and we're going to protect our citizens like never before. To boost our defense industrial base, we are also going to resurrect the American shipbuilding industry, including commercial shipbuilding and military shipbuilding. And for that purpose, I am announcing tonight that we will create a new Office of Shipbuilding in the White House and offer special tax incentives to bring this industry home to America where it belongs. We used to make so many ships. We don't make them anymore very much, but we're going to make them very fast, very soon. It will have a huge impact. To further enhance our national security, my administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing it.
Don't touch our ships. Don't touch America's ships. We see Trump making massive moves. We're increasing our military. We're putting a defense, hopefully if Congress approves, around our water borders, as I call them. And it's amazing. And now we're increasing our shipbuilding. Don't touch our ships. Anytime anyone touches America's ships, America gets knuck if you buck, and they get in your butt like Diddy. And they don't stop until they're finished or until you're done, completely done. So they're spending $33,331,952,000 on building ships in America. So it's going to be manufactured and built in America, which is beautiful. And this is all according to Trump and the new continuing resolution. It has the budget for it. I find it absolutely fantastic that people are actually wanting to protect us and build for us instead of building for other countries. Other countries have citizens. This is what frustrates me so much about America. We have all these people that give all this money and then a government that gives it away for other people that have lots of people but don't put in as much because they rely on us to protect them. Maybe stop with all this free healthcare BS and actually put forth building up your own militaries. Then you won't have to rely on us. I find it something very disturbing to have to rely on someone else to do something for me. Now, if I'm incapable of doing it, I'm not relying on someone. I'm asking that person to do a job because I'm incapable of doing it. But if I am capable of doing it, I'm not going to rely on anyone else around me to get the job done. It's just that simple. If I can do it, I'm doing it. If I can't do it, somebody else will do it. But why is it that we are the financiers of everybody else's problems but our own? And it comes to where we have to be hard pressed in order to do something for ourselves. I'm on that whole mindset of treat yourself. And Donald Trump is treating us just right. In other news, we have billions on billions. This is unusual wells. We saw that the one guy on TikTok or Twitter got taken down. He got exposed by the left. But here we have unusual wells, which is a really good use and source for information. And they used to be strictly a economy type thing, reporting on the stock market and all that other stuff. But they are giving out information here on the stock market, but it's news at the same time. Elon Musk, Tesla, Jeff Bezos, Amazon, Sergey Brin, Google, Mark Zuckerberg, Meta have lost $210 billion in the stock market. And all you hear is these leftists complaining, the stock market's down, Trump's going to ruin the economy, he's ruining America, we're going to be doomed. All because it dropped 1,000 points. I thought you hated billionaires and millionaires. I thought it was eat the rich. So now that Trump gets in office, billionaires are losing money and you're crying? I thought it was pay your fair share. Right? That's what I thought it was. Well, maybe you guys should figure out which side of the aisle you want to be on. Either you're pro down with the millionaires and billionaires, or you're pro the work of Trump. Because he seems to be giving you exactly what you want, but you're complaining. He's trying to fix things, but you're complaining. And far be it from me to not be the authority on this, but I know through actual experience and life and seeing things for myself that the economy is not indicative of the stock market. So the stock market can be down and the economy be booming. The stock market can be up and the economy be down, because the economy is like going to the casino or not the economy, but stock market is like going to the casino where you go to gamble. Where do you go to play games? You throw a little money in and hope you get lot out. That it doesn't always work like that. It's a gamble. People go into the stock market because they want to, and the stock market has been overinflated for over 25 years. It has vicissitudes. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down, but it's always going up. It goes up and down at an upward trajectory. So that is truly a indicator that it is overinflated. So if it drops 2,000 points like it did under Joe Biden, it's not a big deal, because the economy was just fine under Joe Biden, right? So we were told. Inflation was down, right? So we were told. So why are we complaining about millionaires and billionaires losing money? Either we want them to stop, liberals, and become less, or we want them to continue to be millionaires and billionaires. You guys got to make up your mind. In other news, Huckabee Sanders. Oh my gosh. This woman, ugly as sin, God bless her heart, but I could kiss her because she wants to teach kids gun safety, and gun crime should go down. Now, I do have some stats as I leave this up here for you. I do have some stats to give you, because after guns were removed from schools in 1990, the 1990s, it was actually 1990 when they did it, there was a 27% increase in school shootings. From the 90s to present day, 34 years versus the previous 50 years, you see this increase. So it giving these stats, we have 144 deaths in 2020, in the 2020s, and we're not even out of the 2020s yet. And as far as the 2010s, there were 207 deaths. In the 2000s, there was 111 deaths. You're going to watch these numbers keep going down as I read them. In the 90s, there were 127 deaths. So you saw a jump up. So a decrease from the 2000s, but a increase in the 90s, going backwards. However, prior to this, in the 1990s, there were only 69 deaths in the 1980s in school shootings. In the 70s, 45 deaths. In the 60s, 41 deaths. In the 50s, 14 deaths. In the 40s, 10 deaths. So notice how having guns in school, while it did increase some, didn't increase much at all. But when we took them out, boy, we made our kids a soft target. We made them a soft target, and people go and attack soft targets. They don't attack armed targets because they know they can't get what they want done. So they go pick the most weak area so they can have the most damage done. Bravo, Miss Huckabee Sanders. You are a brilliant governor, and I hope that you continue to move in this direction. Because as you can see, here's her bill. This bill is HR 1117 for those that want to know. I hope it passes, because if it passes, it should make for a precedent that has not been around since the 90s that would allow for kids to start training with weapons in school. Personally, in my personal opinion, when you teach a kid about a gun and weapons and show them how they work, the curiosity goes away. It's gone. And once it's gone, you have a less likely chance for these kids to go grab that thing and do something, egregious with it, because they understand it. They have a healthy respect for it. And you mitigate a lot of situations down that road. So I'm very interested in to see in the coming years, if this does pass both chambers in Arkansas, how this works out. Still talking about wait a minute, what? Oops, boop, my bad. Still talking about the stock market though, going back to that, I'm interested in to see if this does go to a recession, because there are recession fears within the stock market and people are panicking. The Dow is down. So we need to be a little bit more vigilant in making sure that certain things do move as they usually move. But I don't really think that there's going to be a recession, in my personal opinion, but there are recession fears as the stock market plummets. So that is your news for today. And I am so thankful you guys joined me. Our Bible verse comes out of 2 Chronicles 7:14, and it says, "If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their evil and wicked ways, then I will hear them from heaven and I will forgive their sins and heal their land." America's in great need for healing. So as we go in throughout the rest of this week and into our weekends, make sure you're giving God some praise and spend some time with him, because without him, you wouldn't be here. And as always, make sure you aren't one of the people that, can't see the forest through the trees. Thank you for joining me.